started my senior year living with Zach and his family, and I was pretty excited. My senior year, I only needed one class to graduate, but you can't just take one class, so I only went for half a day. I had four classes. I remember my senior year schedule because first period was senior English, and that was what I needed to have. And I had that class with Zach and all the seniors. My second period class was art. And then I would go to calculus, and then I would go to chemistry. And my chemistry teacher was a really fun guy. And most days he would let you skip. So I really just had three classes. And yeah, I remember my schedule for my senior year because my senior year is the year that 9/11 happened in my country. And so, yeah, I was born in the United States of America and in the USA on 9/11, 2001. There was a terrorist attack. And I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into the conspiracy theories or anything around that. All I know is that it happened my senior year, and I was in art class. I just finished English class, and we went to art class, and they put it on the TV, and they played it over and over again. And Zach's mom came and checked him out, checked all of us out, checked his brothers out, and checked me out too. And a lot of parents were checking out kids, and then there was like a long line of cars at every single gas station. It was crazy. Zach and I just hooked up with his friend, and we went and got high. So that's what we did, and fun times. And yeah, I was getting more and more depressed. Zach was disappointed in me and for being a quitter, of course. And his mom, I had a bad attitude. One time she wanted me to do the dishes, and I had a bad attitude about it. And I wasn't intentionally trying to break the dishes. And it hurt my feelings because I knew, my dad always accused me of throwing away the dishes and breaking the dishes because, my stepmom, I swear, was framing me. But, and, it's just, I don't know, it's like a sore spot for me is people accusing me of breaking dishes on purpose whenever I'm not doing it on purpose. But yeah, I was angry doing the dishes and flinging them around and, being rough with them, throwing them from the suds to the rinse. And yeah, they busted. And, his mom was pretty angry at me. I mean, it wasn't like she yelled at me or got in my face. She was upset, and rightfully so. She was upset about it, They're not rich, and I did break their dish. So anyway, I just wanted to put that in there because it is like a wound for me. It's like a deep wound. It's a weird one. But yeah, I'm overcoming the fact that, everybody thinks that, in their mind, they think I did it intentionally, but I did not. And I never wanted to, I don't know. It wasn't like that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so I started my senior year, and yeah, 9/11 happened, and then homecoming was coming up, and Zach was a football player, and he asked me if I wanted to be in homecoming, and I was like, yeah. And so he he got the football players to vote for me to be in homecoming. I wasn't homecoming queen or nothing, but I was one of the maids. And so that was really fun. And his mom seemed to really love that too because she bought me tanning. She took me to get my teeth cleaned. She went and got my hair done. And she went and took me dress shopping, and she seemed to really enjoy it. And I enjoyed that she was enjoying it with me. And I was so happy that I could be that for her, Like, I love being someone's doll. Dress me up, I still to this day, I don't care what I wear. I love, if I'm going to be left to my own devices, I'm going to wear something, flowery or flowy. But, you can dress me up if you want. I know, I'm crazy. So, yeah, I loved this time. I loved that she was giving me so much attention, and I loved that she was enjoying it, because she was like, I never had a daughter, and she was just so happy about it. So, yeah, and then the homecoming day came, and that morning we had to do a walk in the gym, and then that afternoon we were going to do a walk on the field, and the one in the gym was just for the school. And I was cramping really bad, and I wanted Zach to, because I knew his house was just right down the street. And I was like, please go down to your house and grab the Pamperin, a period pain pill. And he was just like, no, I will not do that. And his brother did it for me, and I was so grateful. And it helped me feel better about walking. And yeah, Zach really got upset with me about that because, again, it was my quitter attitude showing up. And, like, even if you're in pain, you push through it. You wanted this. I asked you, do you want to be a maid? And you were like, yes. And then the day comes and you're upset. I was just cramping really bad, and I didn't want to be cramping and walking. And I knew that, there was an option, but, Zach didn't want to help me out. And, I do understand from his point of view, it looked like a quitter mentality, or at least at the time I understood. I felt like, he's just trying to make me better. Well, after that, I hooked up with one of my girlfriends and one of her friends who lives just down the street from the school. And we just sat around and smoked weed and waited for, the afternoon for the maids to come. And my dad showed up with my sisters. I wasn't expecting that, but he did. He showed up with my sisters. And yeah, I was a little bit late because, I was off getting high. And Dad walked me down the football field, and it was really cool. He had me laughing and giggling the whole time. So in the pictures, I have a really pretty smile. And yeah, he was so cool. And then later on, I found out that my dad had a horrible headache the whole time. My dad had a horrible headache, and he was so kind and loving, and he was there for me. And wow, I didn't, it's things like that make me feel loved. My mom never showed up. My mom never knew. And that's why I think that I have a mommy wound and not a daddy wound. So my senior year, also, I get voted class rebel. Me and Zach and I get voted class rebel. And we did a picture in front of a police car. And yeah, I was always setting up parties, looking for the next party. I was always out of my mind, and I was very sociable and, wanting to set up the parties. And also, at the beginning of my senior year, because I was living with Zach and his mom, they had all boys, so they were very much a football following family. All their boys were in football, and so we went to every single football game, and so I was there cheering them on, but I was cheering them on as a fan, like the way that a fan would do, yay, go, instead of like doing actual cheers. And so yeah, my cheer coach was like, hey, the cheers, you could cheer them with us. And I was like, no way, I'm not going to do that. I look like a wannabe, and I'm not a wannabe. I could actually be if, I wasn't so broke. But right now I'm really broke. One day I might not be broke. Actually, back then it was, one day I won't be broke. But for now I am. That's all that it is. It's not that I'm not capable, because I am. And I loved that I made cheerleading. I'm so grateful that I did make cheerleading that one time, because for me, that showed that I was capable. It's just that I wasn't quite ready. I just wasn't financially able, I guess, is how you would say it. But yeah, so we went to all the football games, and I went with them, and I was thinking about how fun it would have been if I was a cheerleader, and his mom would comment on that. At the beginning of the school year, his mom convinced me to go ask the cheer coach if she would let me back on. I tried to convince Zach's mom that, yeah, that's not how it works, or I don't have the money, and I didn't say that to her, but I was thinking that, and I was like, and plus I already got all the demerits, for missing. I missed the rest of the cheer practices all summer. So, yeah, I wouldn't be able to be back on the team. But she wanted me to, and I was like, I love and I respect you. I'll do what you want me to do. And I went and asked her, and she explained, no, it's not possible, and that's okay. And then they tried to convince me that I could cheer at the game, so I was like, it's all good. I will cheer. I ran up and down the sidelines. I mean, Zach was playing, It was awesome. And they actually made it all the way to playoffs that year. This small little rinky-dink school, and they made it to playoffs. And they lost, I think, the second game. There was 4 games, and they lost the second game, I do believe. I don't know. Don't take my word for it. But I remember those days of riding with Zach's family to all the ball games. Oh, my goodness. And yeah, I think that Zach's mom began to like me less and less as we were there. It seemed we weren't getting along. I wasn't getting along with Zach as much anymore. I really was out of my mind. And after every ball game, it was like, we got to go to a party and party all night long. And yeah, oh my goodness, I was just always partying and always drinking, and I wasn't the best. I can admit that, And I do remember this one time I convinced Zach to get me a kitten. I was like, please give me a kitten. Please, please, please give me a kitten. And he was like, okay. And he got me a kitten. And what I didn't realize was Zach and his friends, because Zach had a pit bull. And I thought that, he just loved his pit bull and he kept it outside with his mom. And he did have fight marks on it and stuff, but I didn't realize that Zach and his friend Brent, they would fight pit bulls. They would grow, raise, and fight pit bulls. And they would use kittens to, I don't know. I really don't. But he was like, kittens are bait, whatever. If you want to bait, whatever. And I got this kitten, and I didn't have no money, and I had no way of taking care of myself. I keep getting into these situations where I think that I'm more than I am, but I'm not. So yeah, I would take hot dogs. I would get hot dogs because they were really, really cheap, and I would scrunch it up and I would feed it to this kitten every morning, every afternoon. And one afternoon, I came home from school and the kitten was dead. And I mean, she was dead. I don't know what happened to her, but I was really sad, and I beat myself up for that for a while. And I realized, I'm not going to be able to take care of this kitten or anyone else. And I began to get more and more and more depressed. And we are rolling up on 1-year anniversary of my cousin dying. And I'm just falling apart at the seams. I'm really falling apart. And no need to get in your mind anymore. Just completely fall apart. I don't even have my uncle's house to go to anymore because, even though I told you in the last video about what happened to my uncle, at this time I didn't know. I was just like, he's missing. He'll show up anytime. Surely he'll show up anytime, but he did not ever show up. And so I didn't have my uncle's house to go to, and I don't know. It got crazy. And then at our little school, a new girl moves there, and nobody likes her. They're very mean to her. And I was just like, I will be nice to her. And I was nice to her. And I started going over to her house and hanging out with her a lot. My friends were like, why are you hanging out with her? And I was like, y'all just need to give her a chance, And she was really nice. She was a really good girl. And yeah, so I start hanging out with her, and she starts to point out how bad Zach is for me. I don't know. She begins to point out how mean Zach is to me, and it begins to, I don't know. It doesn't begin to open my eyes, really. I don't know. She notices something about my relationship with Zach that I don't realize. And I just kind of ignored her and moved on, But yeah. So yeah, that's all that I have for you guys today. And I will pick up from here on another video. And I thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, as always, be blessed with love. My story. That's all she got.